you're looking to move to Orlando, Florida and have your eyes set on the amazing Lake Nona area, then this community might be the one for you. I went down to Story Park so I can check out the amenities, drive through the neighborhood, and really check out some of the model homes to see which ones really stood out and was worth really sharing with you. Now, of course, like I always do, I like to show exactly what's in the area around these communities and most importantly, where these places are. So let's go ahead and hop over to the map so we can take a look.
Okay, so we have Story Park here pulled up on the map. As you can clearly see, it's right here. And just to give you an idea, I'll go ahead and zoom out just so you can see where exactly this is in reference to the greater Orlando area. You can see it's right here off of the 417, which is one of those main roadways that most residents in that community would use to get around. Here we have downtown Orlando. Let's go ahead and look at what kind of drive time you can expect there. All right, so you're looking at basically a 20-minute drive, which isn't too bad. Now, the next big one usually is the airport, which as you can see here is only really about 13 minutes away, right? So basically under 15 minutes, you can be at the airport. Now let's go ahead and look at Disney World. It's another big one. I call them the big three. And here you're looking at really about 23 minutes, which is pretty amazing. All right, so what about retail shopping? Most people who live over at Story Park most likely are gonna end up going over to Waterford Lakes Town Center to the majority of their heavy retail shopping, right? This is gonna be an area that has basically your Target, it'll have your Kohl's, it'll have movie theater, basically all kinds of things that you normally go to and want to enjoy at a larger retail area. So, and that's really only about 17 minutes away. Now, of course, this is in the Lake Nona area. So let's go ahead and take a look at how far it would be from the Lake Nona Town Center. All right, so there you have it. It's only about 11 minutes away, which means you have great access to the airport, downtown, you have Disney, all basically under 20 minutes or around 20, 25 minutes or so. And then you also have your heavy retail shopping. Also, you're looking at around 25 minutes away. So it's not too bad, has an ideal location. Part of the reason for that, again, goes back to the 417. It's really just right there. You're kind of right off the exit. So a lot of advantages to this community's location, as you can already clearly tell on the map. Okay, so you basically have an idea of where Story Park is and what's around it, which is amazing. But here's the thing, Story Park has a ton of amenities, so let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what they have and whether or not it would be enough to keep you from having to leave. Right now I'm over here at Story Park at one of their amenity centers, and I'm telling you, it is really hot. Today is the perfect day to be hitting that pool back behind me. So what I wanted to do first is showcase you this amenity center, which the HOA staff here has promised me that, I mean, if I like this one, that I'm definitely gonna love the other one too. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one first so you can see what the gym looks like, their little lobby, and the pool. Along with that, there's also a playground over here that I'm gonna show off. So we'll take a look at this first, and then we'll hop right over to the next one. So right away at one of their clubhouses, you can see that it is very nice and well maintained, very beautiful inside. Clearly they have something well put together here. And right away, I mean, you're just greeted with some of the HOA staff here, which have been really helpful in getting around. So once you're new here, I mean, you'll have plenty of friendly faces to help you out and get around. Okay, so I wanted to showcase a little bit of one of their gyms. They actually have two of them and two different clubhouses with two pools. The other larger one, which we'll get to, actually has an entire game room, which I'm really excited to showcase for you all. But I just wanted to show off the gym a little bit here. You can see like right behind me, they got an entire area for like stretching. So I'm showing it off right here. They can't follow me. There we go. You got the entire area here. You got spinning bikes. You got plenty of machine to work out on. You can see that there's treadmills right behind me. So, and again, that's just one of the gyms. And of course, what's a master plan community without having a master planned pool area? I mean, here, like I said, they have two of them. We'll definitely be getting to that one in a minute. This is one of them right behind me right now. And I mean, it is just stunning. They even got a jacuzzi and everything already set up. I mean, here you really do feel like you are at a resort, which is wonderful. They even have a place where you can get snacks. I mean, come on, this is definitely set up for success and for just a nice time being out. Here you can easily go from being at the pool, which by the way, they have a zero entry pool, to a playground right over here, which we're gonna go ahead and check out right now. It's got a gate to make sure that your little ones stay inside and don't get too far from you. Plenty of seating. You can see right behind me there. It's an awesome playground. Great way to spend the afternoon. And again, it's right next to the pool. So I mean, you can quickly go from diving deep, being in the pool area, over to the playground. And I don't know about you, but I mean, with my kids, sometimes I gotta give them kind of like an incentive to get out. So it might be that we're wrapping up at the pool, maybe it's getting late, or we're just tired and just need to start drying off. Might say that, hey, let's go ahead and hit the playground just for a few minutes. The heat will get them all exhausted and ready for a nap at home. So I mean, that's something that I would do. I don't know about y'all, but definitely this playground would do it. There's plenty to do here, and actually a couple of things for adults too. You can see here that they actually have some outdoor they got some outdoor machines to work out on. You definitely have enough here for everybody to do. So here's the big clubhouse slash game room that everyone from the other side of the community was telling me all about, and it really does not disappoint. I mean, just check it out. I mean, between the large windows, the bright lights, and just the aesthetic and view, how they have it decorated, it is beautiful. They actually said that if you wanted to reserve this for a party or a get-together, any kind of gathering like that, you're more than welcome to. Obviously, you have to go through the proper channels to the HOA, but again, it is just kind of a nice place where you can really hold some kind of gathering. And let me show you a little bit of what they have here. Here you got your pool table. I mean, you have a little bit of foosball if you're a big fan of that. Obviously, there's plenty of seating. They also have somewhat of a kitchen area like you see behind me. I mean, they got a whole entire fridge so you can keep food and drinks cool in there, and then you have a sink right over here. Also got a microwave. Obviously not much to really cook, like a whole full meal, but obviously if you were planning on having any kind of event here, odds are you probably would have the food either catered, you would have already had it prepared ahead of time. Now I'm walking through the area, and like I said before, it is a very hot and humid day in Florida. It is a very typical June day. I'm walking through the pool area over here on this side, and I have to tell you that while this has a nicer amenity center inside, the pool in the other place is a whole lot nicer. Like you can see behind me right here, this is still really nice. It doesn't have that same zero entry, so as far as the little ones go, you probably would want to head to the other pool, but this is a great place to lounge around, spend your afternoon. And again, it's not too far, it's very close walking distance from the homes. You can see right behind me there. So definitely a lot of opportunity here to enjoy your time, really enjoy that Florida weather, really enjoy that Florida lifestyle, almost like if you were living at a resort. Again, very nice area. I think this pool is definitely beautiful, one to head out to. But if you're asking me, especially one with little ones, the other one is definitely going to be the one that takes the gold for this one. This did catch my eye leaving the pool right now, because again, you know, if you have, you know, just young toddlers, this playground here is probably going to be the better fit. You can see that it's actually made, you know, it's called the tot lot, and it's made for the little ones. There's no fence, there's no gate, so obviously not great for your runners, but definitely good for the ones that are, they've just learned to walk. They can't get too far from you, and it's, again, just a nice place to spend time with your family outside. A lot of these communities, master plan communities, are really geared towards families. They've really thought a lot of these things through to make sure that, you know, you do have something there for the family. So again, I mean, it's just something that is beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, not far from the homes, and again, just a great way to spend some time outdoors with not just your own family, but hey, other people in the community as well. Okay, so dog moms and dog dads out there, I think you will enjoy this part right here. Right behind me, you have a dog park, which is pretty neat the way they have it put together. I mean, they have the fence, and they did a really good job. I mean, honestly, they typically with these dog parks, you'll have them either open, no fence, no nothing at all. But here you can see that they do have a fence, and they didn't just get any fence. They got this kind of like wood style fence right here that, I mean, just looks a lot nicer than your average typical dog park that they would have. And not just that, but really if you look into the area altogether, I mean, it kind of seems like a dog's paradise. You got plenty out there to do. They got tires back there to jump, some obstacle courses, and not just that. I mean, on those hot summer days, we're not the only ones that get hot. They actually also have this right here. Just a little place for them to get some refreshment, which is great, especially on a hot day like today. So oftentimes with communities like this, where they have those rear loading garages like the ones, like those homes that you see right behind me, I mean, the idea is that you shouldn't really need a yard, because you have plenty of places like this, all this green open area that, by the way, you don't have to maintain, which is pretty awesome. And not just that, but right behind me you have another amazing playground for the little ones to spend some time at, run and burn off some energy, especially in the afternoon. That way when it's time for bed, they're just ready to go. And again, look at this, just well put together. I don't remember having any of things like this when I was a kid. I know some people out there maybe grew up a little bit differently than I did. I grew up on a military base, so we had playgrounds, just not like these. Right here. All right, so as I'm driving through the neighborhood, at least the parts that are built out, I mean, you're gonna get a chance to see some of it right now. I mean, I have a lot of footage here coming from the dash cam there that I use in order to be able to really show off these neighborhoods and show off what it'd be like to drive through. But as I go through, I mean, you can see that there are, I mean, the way they build out this community is definitely very beautiful. It has obviously its own touch, its own difference and its own aesthetic to it. But the big thing really is that, you know, there are still plenty of lots to sell. I mean, this neighborhood will, you know, sell out fairly soon. Believe it or not, it has maybe about 80, 90 home sites left to sell. However, I was speaking with the sales associate and she told me that when they do sell out, the plan really is because of the popularity of the area to sell another major master plan community all up in its own. It's gonna have its own amenities, its own HOA, own everything. So I mean, it's just not gonna stop in this area. And really the best way, you know, to know about when that stuff happens is to connect with someone who's local. Listen, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these new construction communities, especially here, when you're watching a video of it while we're recording, yeah, you know, there's still plenty to sell. But you know, it takes a lot to be able to really know what each of them do have to offer. You can see that in this community, I mean, they have these gorgeous amenity centers with these amazing pools, and not every community really has all those same kind of amenities. I mean, here they have a basketball court, a tennis court, volleyball. You have your tot lot. You have 2 gyms. You have a game room. You have plenty that obviously you can take advantage of here. And here's the thing, like, not every new construction community or established area is gonna have all those kinds of things in there. And to, you know what they have, you really have to end up going to each and every one of them to see what they have to offer. And I'll be honest, that could be a lot of work. It can be fairly taxing. The best way to cut a lot of that work out and to really make sure that you can really figure out what exact communities are out there still selling is to touch base with someone who really knows the area. So if you're out there and you're planning on moving to Orlando, you know, want to live in a community that is, you know, in the middle of everything, or maybe one that's further out, or maybe you want one with a ton of amenities, or maybe you want something a little bit more simple, hey, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to learn exactly what's got you moving here to Orlando and help you find the exact right home and community that makes sense for you and your family. Okay, so navigating the public school system could be a little challenging if you're unfamiliar with the area. But I mean, in all reality, at the end of the day, you know, just doing a little bit of research, you might be able to find exactly what schools you'd be comfortable sending your kids to. So with that in mind, I wanted to go ahead and use Story Park here and just walk you through a little bit of the process for what it would be like to do that research. So the first thing is, if you're looking at Story Park as a place to live, you know, just pick an address from there and you can easily head over to the Orange County Public School District website, which is exactly where Story Park, you know, would fit in this because they're zoned for this county. And you're going to go down, there's an area to enter your address here. So that's one way you could do it. But since this is a new construction community, odds are that a lot of the addresses may not show up here. So with that in mind, the next thing I would say to do is go back to the map, find Story Park, and just type out elementary school. Preschool, pulls up. All right, it has a couple of different schools all around here. I happen to know which ones are Orange County Public Schools and which ones are charters. Usually if they have fun names like, you know, Mater Academy Narcoossee or Nona Park Montessori School, those tend to be private or charter schools. So, I mean, those are options, of course. But again, if you're kind of focusing on the public school system where you'd basically be given a seat at that school from, just because you're zoned for that school, then this is the other route that you'd be going. But again, those are options too. So you can see here that Sunblaze Elementary showed up, Innovation Middle School also showed up because it's showing you all the public schools in the area. And then Moss Park Elementary School is also up here as well. And by the way, I'm gonna focus on elementary, but this will work for middle school and high school. So you have the two schools here. The next page you pull up, so this first page was the Find My School page, which you would use the address. Now the other one you can use is this one right here, which is the school attendance zone maps. And you can see that they have elementary schools, middle schools, K through 8, and high school. Drop down. Let's go ahead and find Moss Park. There you have it. This will pull up a map. Let's go ahead and find Sunblaze. Sun, Blaze, right there. And another way to find out if it's an Orange County Public School is just click on the school, and it should give you a link to their website. At the top, it should say something along the lines of Orange County Public Schools. So here we have the map pulled up for Moss Park Elementary. And then I can tell here that this is that Biography Way for Story Park. This is Dowden that goes all the way through here. So yeah, clearly, most likely they're going to be. We'll look at the other map, and it'll be zoned for Sunblaze. Moss Park, right? That it won't be zoned for that one. All right, so here we have Sunblaze. Here we have that little street that makes kind of a U shape, right? This is all Story Park. So we know it's zoned for Story Park. Sunblaze will be the school. Now, of course, everyone always worries to see whether or not these are good schools. And, what I would recommend doing is go to greatschools.org and look at the information they have. They have their own metrics, their own systems for how they evaluate schools. I do think that, I wouldn't use it as an end all be all, but at least as a starting point to really have an idea of, what this school has to offer. So I already have Sunblaze typed up here. It's not in St. Cloud, but we'll go ahead and just hit enter, and it should give us a school. There we have it. So here we have it pulled up. It gets a 9 out of 10, which sounds, very encouraging. Sounds very positive, right? So it says test scores, 9 out of 10. Student progress, 9 out of 10. Equity, 9 out of 10. And then again, like I said, I just would go through this and really just kind of figure out what all this means and what all these ratings mean. And again, if you want to be zoned for one of the better schools according to this site or some of the other sites or the research that you do, I highly recommend that, amongst doing all these things, to just research and find a school that most likely is zoned for. One, of course, follow up with the school district, call them, send them an email, do whatever you have to do if you're buying here specifically for a school. Now, Moss Park is also rated well according to greatschools.org, but there might be some areas that this website might not rate a certain school so well. And then you'll see that right next to it, zoned right next to it, is a school that ranks very highly. So that's why you want to make sure that you're paying close attention to what you be zoned for and following up and checking in. That way you're moving to the right area. A key hint I would give, honestly, is the fact, I'd look at the prices. If you have homes in one community that are, significantly higher than the community next to it, and then they're both zoned for schools that, let's say a web page like this just ranks them differently, well, then you kind of have an idea there of where the homes are for each of those schools because of the pricing. Because at the end of the day, all parents want the absolute best for their kids, which means that the better school, quote unquote better school, depending on what page or source you're looking at, is going to draw more attention. And that's just a reality of real estate. That's a reality of pretty much anything else you're going to buy. Anything that has a lot of attention and demand is going to get the higher price. So again, at least you have a couple of tools and a couple of key hints to how to get started when it comes to researching what public schools your kids would end up going. Now, with homes in mind, I want to go ahead and show you one of the model homes I walked through that I thought would definitely work, was definitely worth a look. Okay, so I wanted to show off a little bit of some of the model homes that they have here, and this is the Rio. It's one of the bigger ones when it comes to their Manor series. This does have that rear loading garage, so a bit of a hit or miss depending on who you are. Me personally, I'm not a big fan, but if you wanted something that's a little closer to a town home without all that lawn maintenance and all that stuff, then but you still want it to have kind of like that single family home feeling, then odds are this is probably going to be a better fit for you. It is one of the bigger ones that they offer. It's over 2,600 square feet. This is the entryway, as you can see it right here. A lot of natural light leads right into this little cozy eating area that they have it set up as an eating area, but you can do whatever you want here. Some people will have this as a receiving place for guests, a couple maybe lounge couches or anything like that, maybe a coffee table. So it just kind of just depends on who you are and what you like to do with the space. But already you can see a lot of natural light right from the get-go coming in. So one of the things that stands out for me is this full bath that you have downstairs right here. Let's check it out, right? So full bath, and you have, this is a 5-bedroom, so you have the 5th bedroom downstairs right here, which is really good because if you have guests, I mean, one of the things that at least me personally fits my style of living is when I do have guests, I guess it'd be nicer to have them a little bit separate from everybody else or my main living space upstairs, and they can also have a little bit of more privacy themselves. So again, I mean, that's just kind of a big win depending on who you are and what you'd want to use that 5th bedroom for. Another cool thing is that they have this office space right here, which for me usually would mean that it's gonna be a kid's place. But I'm gonna show you right now why that would not be the case in this particular home. So as you can see here, a lot of space for an office, plenty of room. They even have it set up with a kind of fake TV and area over here. You can also use it as another entertainment room if you wanted to. But it's very nice just the fact that they kind of put this place together the way they did. And then you have a very open kitchen, dining, and living space right here. And then you have the kitchen, of course, which is, you know, typical in most homes today. It's a little bit more of that modern feature where you have the kitchen overlooking the main, entertaining area. And I thought this was interesting too, the way that they have this set up. This is kind of like a little bit of a breakfast nook, but it is bigger than what I guess should be the main dining area, which is towards the entrance. So, but definitely this here, you know, would be probably for me the main dining area. And what I love is that they have outlets set up throughout here, and they kind of have it set up in this booth-like fashion. It kind of makes it feel almost like a Starbucks or a coffee shop where you can sit down, the kids can do homework, they can study, they can do all that kind of stuff. So again, very neat concept. I like how they have it put together. But right now I'm gonna show you exactly why that office space, I would not turn it into a kid's play area. It's mainly because this is a 2-floor and they've done an amazing job with the loft right here. So you have this wonderful loft right there. You have this wonderful loft there. And here's the thing, not every home that has a loft has it put together like this. This space is used very well. You can easily entertain up here. You can have the kids up here, kind of away from everything else. They got great roomy rooms, which I'll show off in some of the B-roll here. But plenty of space for the kids up here. There's 3 bedrooms, and then you have the 4th one downstairs. That's not the main. And then you have this fairly grand main master bedroom. They've done I love what they did in here. They definitely created a lot of natural light coming in. There's a lot of space here, and I like what they did with the ceiling, definitely adding a couple of extra touches to really make the owner feel like, this is their home, they're the ones paying the bill, so they have the nice room. Definitely love that. And then what I also like is kind of how they have this little space up here that would typically, I'd probably put a dresser there. Maybe you can fit a desk, or maybe you can have some of these like lounges there, like a little coffee reading area if you wanted to. There is a lot of room in here though to add like other things, like you can put a TV over here, you can have a TV over there, lots of space up here. Definitely a decent size. I wouldn't say it's the most grand walk-in closet, but it definitely, it's definitely more than enough space, at least for me. I'm not huge on having a ton of clothes or anything like that. My wife's a little bit different, not to be stereotypical, but she just has more clothes. It depends, if you're living with someone, if you're married, then maybe, one of you two might have more than the other. If you both do, you might have to steal one of the kids' rooms or that guest bedroom for some of your stuff, because it is a little bit smaller than you would expect. But at least for me, like I said, that would never bother me at all. And definitely a decent sized master bathroom for sure. They've used it well. And again, keep in mind, this is a 2,600 square feet home. So they've packed a lot of rooms and they've divided a lot of the space up amongst all these rooms and all these areas. So, it's very functional, I think, at the end of the day.
So one key detail that the sales rep did let me know is that they could potentially sell out in the next 6 to 12 months because of the fact that they only have 80 to 90 home sites left. Now, here's the thing, there are plenty of opportunities in many other neighborhoods throughout the Orlando area. In order to see what those communities are like, you'll want to click on this playlist here and watch these next.